everybody knows LifeLock. They're sort of I guess they're one of the leaders in identity theft protection, and there there've been lots of stories about their practices, and they've been sued a million times and whatever. Anyway, but that they're a pretty solid company generally. But the other day, the story broke that basically someone had discovered this guy, and I think his name was Nathan Reese. He's a security researcher. Had discovered when he went to unsubscribe from an email from LifeLock and by the way, this is broke. The story was broken by Krebs on Security, which is an awesome blog. You should check this guy out if you haven't. His name is Brian Krebs, and at least every 2 to 3 days he has a really interesting story on his site. So anyway, so he brought the fact that if you this security researcher found out that when he went to unsubscribe from LifeLock from one of their newsletters or mailing, that in the query string, as you can see at the top there, and it's a bit hard because it's not that big, but that basically they had in the query string they had like an enumerated number. So he went to check it out to see what would happen if he wrote a little script to see like if he enumerated numbers from I think he got from 1 to 17 or something like that, and he was able to pull down email address after email address after email address. So anybody with even a rudimentary PHP skills or whatever can write a script really easily that could hit this URL and hit subscriber key 0, subscriber key 1, 2, 3 through like a trillion, 5 trillion, whatever, and harvest every single one of those email addresses. And why that's bad is that if you're a bad guy and you want a really super targeted phishing campaign, then you've got people you've got a customer base of millions of email addresses of people who are either LifeLock customers or who are interested in LifeLock. So I mean that's gold for someone, and so you know this is a total this flaw in their system is a total violation of the OWASP top 10 most critical web application security risks, and it's A3, which is sensitive data exposure, and it probably violates almost every other one of their top 10. But that this is the Bible for security on websites, and definitely A3, and there are more. And my favorite part about this whole thing is that Symantec, who owns LifeLock, I think they paid like $2.5 billion for them a while back. They thanked Brian Krebs for informing them yesterday about it, and they fixed it and blah blah blah. And but in their response to it, they said, the issue is limited to prevent potential exposure of email addresses on our marketing page managed by a third party. It was not with our main member portal. Blah blah blah, and essentially what they're saying is, this wasn't our fault. It's not a big deal. It was a third party. It's a third party who contracts with LifeLock. It's not like they were doing it on their own, and I just think that's really bad PR, bad communications. They should have taken the total blame for it, and yeah. Anyway, so it turns out they're saying, at least LifeLock says, that no one had attempted this sort of enumeration download email campaign, or no phishing campaigns have been spawned from anybody pulling any of these addresses down. But other than this researcher guy who pulled like 17 email addresses down by testing it. But I think it's a really big deal, and I don't know. I think it's a security fail. So anyway, check out Krebs on Security. Great blog. Have a great day.